miscarriage can feel even more confusing when your tests look normal. Your cycles seem regular. You've been told there's no obvious reason, but more normal results don't always mean that your body has everything that it needs to get and then to stay pregnant. So today I want to talk you through why. When a doctor says your tests are normal, what they mean is the markers that we looked at fell within an accepted range. And that's really important information, but it's not the whole picture because pregnancy isn't a single test passing. It's a whole body capacity question. And that's how we end up dealing with miscarriages that nobody can explain on paper. The first thing that I look at is inflammation. Now, you can have a normal CRP reading and still have a body that's running hot underneath. Silent inflammation affects your uterine lining, the housing that our child sits in. If that environment is irritated, even a chromosomally healthy embryo can struggle to stay put. And we're not talking generics. We're looking at things like gut inflammation, oral health, low-grade infections that don't show on standard blood tests. Now, let's not ignore nutrient status. Folic acid is the one that everybody talks about. What about ferritin, B12, vitamin D, iodine? These can all sit in that low normal range, technically passing, but functionally too low for your body to maintain pregnancy. And if your iron stores are at 30, your doctor's going to tell you that they're fine. But your body thinks that you're in a drought, and you don't plant a seed in a drought. What we're often guilty of is overlooking blood sugars. Now, we're not talking diabetes here. You don't have to be diabetic for this to matter. These spikes and these crashes throughout the course of the day, they affect your hormone production. They affect your inflammation levels. They affect the quality of the lining that you're building, that home that you're putting your little child into. So a standard fasting glucose can look completely normal while your body is on this roller coaster every single afternoon, and that matters. Now, I don't think that there is a person alive today that doesn't have some form of stress. So this can be emotional stress, it can be multiple different layers of physical stress. Our nervous system runs the show. So if your body is in fight or flight for most of the day, then it deprioritizes reproduction. There's no bandwidth. It's not a flaw. That's biology doing its job. But it does mean that a normal hormone panel can hide a nervous system that's telling your body it's not the time now. So we need to look at that bandwidth. And number five, let's not ignore the immune piece. Sometimes recurrent miscarriages are linked to immune signaling that standard fertility testing just doesn't pick up. They don't test for it. So things like NK cell activity, markers, thyroid antibodies, they need specific tests to find them. And they're not part of a standard panel. So when your doctor says everything's normal, what they might really be saying is everything that we tested is normal. And there's a difference. But let's not fall into the trap either of more information because more information isn't necessarily action. You need to know what to do with that. So, all of the things that we've been looking at, that we've been saying are really important for you to be able to carry your child full term, they're the things that you can actually work with. We can lower inflammation through food and gut work. We can rebuild nutrient stores. We can stabilize these blood sugars and we can regulate our nervous systems. We can ask for the deeper immune tests. None of this replaces the medical team, it complements it so that what they're doing works better. So, understanding these patterns helps to create a more tailored approach for you. And then, when we can support your fertility, because we're not looking at generics, there is no generic approach to this. There are things that I work with on a daily basis with my ladies that improve the housing that our child sits within. Because the more that we can do to support this internal home that we're planting our newborn in and leaving them basically to their own devices in there, the more chance there is that that child is then going to be able to take the nutrients and the energy and the growth fuel that it needs to carry full term. So if you want me to walk you through your own pattern, the link to my free fertility analysis is in my description. And if not, I'll see you in the next video.